Tonight we're doing something a little special. With Christmas right around the corner, this felt like the perfect time to slow down, put the hype away, and actually enjoy some Hot Wheels the way a lot of us first fell in love with them. Tonight we're starting with a Corvette gift pack that feels curated instead of chaotic. It's built around recognizable Corvette shapes and the way Hot Wheels interprets different generations, from historical icons to more modern silhouettes. The goal isn't to shout rare at you, it's to show why these castings work together and why a Corvette themed pack can still feel fresh when you slow down and actually look. The Corvette split window is the kind of casting that instantly signals collector intent, because the real car it references carries a built-in legend. That split rear window silhouette is unmistakable, and Hot Wheels versions tend to hold attention even when the paint is simple. This one's construction and finish lean into a classic display-friendly look, clean lines, confident stance, and enough bright work to read premium at arm's length. It's a foundational Corvette piece because it connects real automotive history to the Hot Wheels' habit of turning icons into pocket-sized artifacts. The 58 Corvette Coupe shifts the vibe to late 50s optimism, when everything felt smoother, heavier, and more chrome forward. As a casting, it's satisfying because proportions communicate that era's presence without looking cartoonish. Even if you're not chasing value, this is the sort of Corvette you keep because it rounds out the timeline. It's earlier than the wedge era cars, but more mature than the pure concept stuff. In a pack like this, it adds visual weight, and it makes the rest of the lineup feel like a deliberate walk through Corvette identity. The 80s Corvette is here to represent the sharp edge era, and it does its job because the silhouette tells you the decade immediately. Long hood, angular surfaces, and that unmistakable wedge attitude give it a totally different personality from the 50s cars. Collectors connect with this one for two reasons: nostalgia and contrast. Nostalgia, because this is the Corvette many people remember seeing on posters or in driveways. Contrast, because it makes the older designs look even more dramatic by comparison. It's a bridge between classic American curves and modern performance shape language. The custom Corvette is Hot Wheels, doing what Hot Wheels does best, taking a recognizable idea and pushing it just far enough to feel expressive without going full fantasy. Even when it's not tied to a single real production year, it still reads Corvette because the casting keeps the visual cues that matter: low stance, performance posture, and a shape that suggests speed even while sitting still. Collectors can be split on customs, but in a theme pack, a piece like this adds variety and keeps the set from feeling like the same car repeated 5 times. It's the palette cleanser that still belongs. The Corvette Stingray is the closer that ties the set together, because Stingray is essentially a headline word in Corvette history. As a casting, it carries that mix of heritage and performance that Corvette fans chase. And it finishes the lineup with a design that feels timeless, rather than locked to one decade. It's also a strong closer because it leaves you with a clean mental picture. A Corvette that looks like it could sit comfortably next to classic icons and modern machines. That's the best kind of gift pack ending: balanced, competent, and cohesive. Now we move into a 50s Cruisers pack, which is basically Hot Wheels translating post-war American optimism into die-cast. These castings lean on long lines, heavy chrome vibes, and that unmistakable Sunday drive mood. What makes this kind of pack collectible isn't one ultra-rare piece. It's how the lineup commits to a single era and looks good displayed together, front to back. The 59 Cadillac Eldorado is pure late 50s excess, and that's exactly why it belongs here. Those tail fins are the whole point: dramatic, unapologetic, and instantly readable, even in miniature. This casting works because it doesn't try to modernize the shape, it lets the era's design speak in its own language. The body color gives it depth, and the bright accents make the sculpt pop under light, which matters if you display gift packs on a wall. Collectors keep Eldorado castings because they're visual anchors. One glance and you're back in that big chrome, big dreams era. The 57 T-Bird brings a calmer kind of style to the pack, and that contrast is what makes the lineup feel intentional. Where the Cadillac is theatrical, Thunderbird is personal. Still classy, but more about clean curves and balanced proportions. In die-cast form, that translates to a casting that looks right from almost any angle, especially when you're doing slow pans. Collectors respect this one because it's timeless. It doesn't need loud graphics to be interesting. It's the kind of car that quietly elevates a set by adding elegance instead of volume. The 57 Chevy is a cultural heavyweight, and the casting carries that energy even when the finish is straightforward. This is one of those cars that feels universal. People collect it because it represents an era, a soundtrack, a neighborhood, and a whole slice of Americana. As part of a 50s pack, it functions like the emotional centerpiece, the vehicle most viewers recognize instantly. What collectors like is that the silhouette does the work, the stance and lines read clearly, and the model looks good both in close-up and from across the room. It's a cornerstone casting, not a filler. The hot rod adds the customization thread that's inseparable from 50s cruising culture. Even in a simple finish, the message is clear: this is about personal expression and not factory perfection. A hot rod casting is important in a pack like this because it represents the garage side of the era. The idea that cars were canvases, and speed or style could be homemade. Collectors appreciate hot rods when they're done with restraint because they don't hijack the pack. They provide context. It tells you this set is about the culture, not just the showroom. The motorcycle closes the pack with motion, and it works because it fits the same cruising narrative without feeling random. Motorcycles are part of the visual language of the era. Leather, chrome, flames, and that sense of freedom that shows up in a lot of classic Americana. In a gift pack, a bike also changes the rhythm of the display, breaks the repeating shape of car after car, so your eye resets. Collectors like that variety, when the styling still matches the theme. As a closer, it keeps the pack energetic, without breaking the decade's mood. If you're enjoying this slower, more thoughtful style of breakdown, take a second and subscribe. This channel is about appreciating the cars, the history, and the design, not chasing trends or flipping hype. And during the holidays especially, it's cool knowing there are other collectors out there who still enjoy just looking at these things and talking about why they matter. Next is the off-road 4x4s pack, which is Hot Wheels leaning into lifted stances, oversized tires, and that late 90s off-road attitude. This isn't realism, it's capability as a vibe. The best thing about these packs is how they photograph. Big wheels, bold graphics, and clear silhouettes that read instantly during a slow pan or a quick cut. Path Beater opens with pure Hot Wheels imagination, and that's not a criticism, it's the point. Short wheelbase, exaggerated suspension, and oversized tires give it that trail toy personality. Even if you've never seen a real vehicle like it, the casting communicates off-road intent immediately. The darker body helps the graphics and details stand out, and the metal base adds a little seriousness, so it doesn't feel like a throwaway. Collectors keep Path Beater style castings because they represent an era when Hot Wheels wasn't afraid to be playful and bold, especially in off-road themes. The Humvee brings structure and realism back into the lineup, which makes the pack feel balanced instead of cartoon only. Its squared off profile, upright stance, and utilitarian shape read as function first, and that contrast helps the more expressive castings around it feel intentional. In diecast terms, it's a strong shelf piece because the silhouette is iconic and the theme is instantly clear. Collectors who like military adjacent or utility vehicles tend to gravitate toward Humvee castings because they feel believable, durable, and visually grounded within a set. Gulch Stepper is where Hot Wheels goes loud, and it earns its spot by being unmistakable at a glance. The lifted posture and aggressive styling push into monster truck energy without turning into a gimmick. This casting is about drama, big tires, bold body shape, and graphics that imply mud, speed, and impact. Collectors often appreciate Gulch Stepper type vehicles because they represent peak toyetic Hot Wheels. Designs that look like they belong on a track, on a shelf, and in a kid's hand. In a pack, it's a visual centerpiece that keeps the theme exciting. Roll Patrol shifts the story from dominance to duty. Instead of feeling like a racer, it reads like a support or rescue vehicle, something that would show up when conditions get rough. That role matters in an off-road pack because it expands the narrative beyond who's the toughest. The longer body and equipment style vibe add variety to the silhouettes, and it gives the lineup a sense of purpose. Collectors often overlook these utility castings, but they're the ones that make themed packs feel like a complete world, rather than 5 random lifted trucks. Bronco 4-wheeler closes the pack with bold identity, and it works because it feels like the most brand recognizable off-road presence in the lineup. The stance suggests capability, the body shape reads as a purposeful truck, and the graphic treatment reinforces that outdoor trail-ready character. As a closer, it's effective because it blends the two sides of the pack. It's more grounded than the wildest fantasy piece, but it still has enough attitude to feel like Hot Wheels. Collectors like that balance because it makes the set feel complete. Now we're into house calls, which is one of those themes that feels playful but surprisingly collectible. Service vehicles are everyday objects, and Hot Wheels turns them into characters. Delivery, handyman work, plumbing, electrical, food runs. What makes this pack work is consistency. The jobs are different, but the idea is the same, and that gives the set real display cohesion. The delivery truck is classic Hot Wheels humor, layered onto a simple working shape. The body style reads utility immediately, which is important because the joke only lands when the vehicle looks believable as a service rig. The graphics add personality without making the casting unreadable. and the overall design feels like something you'd actually see driving around, just exaggerated enough to be fun. Collectors appreciate these delivery castings because they age well. The tempo tells a story, and the shape remains timeless. It's a strong opener because it sets the theme without needing explanation. The 56 Flash Cider fits the house call theme perfectly because its shape naturally suggests a working pickup. Boxy, purposeful, and ready to haul tools. In a gift pack, Flash Cider castings often play the role of the reliable workhorse piece. Not the flashiest, but the one that makes the theme feel real. The color and graphics give it identity without turning it into a cartoon, which matters when you're speaking in a collector tone. Collectors keep these because they display cleanly and they're easy to place in dioramas or themed shelves. The customized C3500 is the personality bomb of the pack, and that's exactly why it belongs. This is Hot Wheels, taking a familiar truck shape and dialing the styling up. Bold paint, high visibility graphics, and a look that screams late 90s branding. In the context of house calls, it feels like the service company that went all in on marketing, the truck you'd spot from 3 blocks away. Collectors remember castings like this because they're era-specific snapshots. They capture the period's design taste, and that kind of nostalgia is collectible even when the vehicle isn't rare. The Ford F-150 grounds the lineup with a more straightforward work truck vibe. It's recognizable, believable, and easy for viewers to connect with because so many people have seen an F-150 used as an actual service rig. That familiarity helps the pack feel less like a novelty set, more like a theme fleet. The darker body reads professional, and the graphics provide identity without overwhelming the casting. Collectors like pieces like this because they're versatile. They fit in themed packs, truck displays, and even more realistic diorama setups without looking out of place. The 40 Ford closes house calls with nostalgia and charm. Older delivery-style castings work well as closers because they suggest history, the idea that service culture has been around forever, just with different vehicles. The classic shape stands out immediately among the more modern trucks, and the delivery graphics push it firmly into the theme. Collectors appreciate this casting because it blends utility and character. It's not just a cute old car, it's a working vehicle with a job to do. As a closer, it gives the pack a satisfying, period-spanning finish. Police cruisers can look random until you realize Hot Wheels is building a concept, not a realistic department fleet. This is about enforcement roles, patrol, pursuit, support, and presence, expressed through different silhouettes. Once you frame it that way, the pack becomes cohesive. Each casting starts to feel like it has an assignment, instead of just filling a slot. The Dodge Power Wagon opens with presence. This isn't the fastest police vehicle idea. It's the heavy, capable sport rig, the kind of truck that shows up when conditions are rough or when authority needs to be visible. The tall stance and strong proportions communicate strength, and that matters in a police-themed pack because not every role is about speed. Collectors appreciate this casting because it expands the definition of a police vehicle beyond the predictable sedan. It makes the set feel like a broader world rather than a single stereotype. Scorching Scooter adds motion and attitude while still staying inside the enforcement theme. Police motorcycles are a real part of traffic and patrol culture, and Hot Wheels exaggerates that idea into something more stylized and memorable. The long, stretched profile and low posture give it a dramatic silhouette, which reads well on camera and breaks up the pack visually. Collectors like unusual castings like this because they're conversation pieces. Even if you're a real car only collector, a bike in a police pack can feel essential because it represents a different type of presence and mobility. The police car is the anchor, the one casting everyone immediately recognizes as traditional patrol duty. Its simple proportions and clear police identity provide clarity in a pack that includes more stylized shapes. That matters for collection display. You want at least one piece that grounds the theme in something familiar, so the set doesn't feel like pure fantasy. Collectors appreciate these standard patrol castings because they're readable, timeless, and easy to place in scenes or themed shelves. Enforcer brings the pursuit energy into the pack. The name alone communicates intent, and the casting's wide stance and aggressive posture reinforce that message. Hot Wheels often uses castings like this to represent a high-impact, high-authority vehicle, something built to chase, intimidate, and control the road. Collectors who enjoy late 90s and early 2000s Hot Wheels design tend to like pieces like Enforcer because they capture that era's boldness. In a police-themed lineup, it adds intensity and keeps the pack from feeling purely procedural. Jeepster closes the pack with versatility. It carries police identity in its color scheme and markings, but the lifted stance suggests it can operate beyond clean city streets. That makes it a strong closer because it combines the pack's themes, patrol presence, pursuit capability, and utility into one silhouette. Collectors appreciate this kind of closer because it feels like a bridge between categories. You can sit next to off-road vehicles, next to police sedans, or next to general Hot Wheels fantasy cars and still make sense. It finishes the lineup without repeating the opening truck's role. Ocean Blasters is the kind of gift pack that makes you blink the first time you see it because it mixes boats, cars, and deep sea fantasy in one lineup. But the logic is simple. It's a mini world built around water, speed, and coastal culture. Once you stop expecting a realistic fleet and start treating it like a theme story, every piece feels more deliberate, and the variety becomes the point rather than a problem. The hydroplane establishes the water racing identity immediately. Hydroplanes are built for surface speed, and the casting communicates that with a long, purposeful form. It looks like it wants to skim across the top of the water. The simpler color treatment, Owl said, helps the silhouette do the work, which is important because this is a shape most people don't see every day. Collectors appreciate Hot Wheels watercraft when they're done with conviction, because the brand doesn't always stay in that lane. Here, the hydroplane isn't a throwaway, it's the thesis statement for the pack. Corvette Stingray III brings land speed into the water world, and it works because it's styled like a concept built to live in multiple environments. The futuristic Corvette interpretation gives it that experimental feel, sharp, performance forward, and more about motion than authenticity to a single production year. In a themed gift pack, this kind of car functions like the bridge piece. It connects familiar automotive excitement to the ocean narrative. Collectors like it because it represents Hot Wheels playing with Corvette identity in a bold way, and it photographs well thanks to the dramatic lines and stance. The 70 Plymouth Barracuda adds classic muscle, which might seem strange until you realize it's here to balance the fantasy. A real, recognizable muscle car gives viewers an anchor point inside an otherwise aquatic concept. The silhouette is strong, the attitude is unmistakable, and it adds a different kind of speed to the story. Straight line power instead of surf or sea-tech. Collectors often like when a pack includes one grounded icon because it makes the themed pieces feel more intentional by contrast. Here, the Barracuda is the land legend that keeps Ocean Blasters from becoming a pure novelty set. The Surf Shop Corvette Stingray is where the coastal lifestyle becomes explicit. With a clean body color and surf culture branding, it reads like a beach town cruiser, something built to carry boards, stories, and salt air. This casting feels cohesive in the theme, because it isn't just a car and a water pack. It's a car that belongs near the ocean. Collectors appreciate pieces like this because the graphics do real narrative work, and the casting is recognizable enough to feel legitimate. It's also a great camera moment because viewers immediately understand the surf connection without needing extra explanation. Fathom. This closes the pack by leaning all the way into deep sea imagination. The industrial color scheme and submarine-like styling suggest exploration and underwater machinery, which broadens the theme beyond surface racing. Hot Wheels castings like this are collectible because they're time capsules of creativity, designs that wouldn't exist outside a toy company willing to take risks. As a closer, it's perfect because it makes the pack's identity undeniable. This isn't just ocean vehicles, it's an ocean world with racing, cruising, and exploration, all represented. It ends with a statement, not a repeat. As we wrap this up, I just want to say thank you for spending part of your Christmas season here. Whether you're watching this late at night with the tree lit up or sometime between family gatherings, I appreciate you being here. These cars are small, but the memories tied to them aren't. I hope you have a great Christmas, a relaxing holiday, and I'll see you in the next one.